everybody, and welcome back to the Miss Fin Show. I am your host, Miss Fins. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Told you guys, I promised you guys we were gonna do the end of review for different units in the team for different players. Obviously, I'm gonna start off with Tua Tagovailoa, Moni Vailoa, Miss a lot of game of Vailoa, whatever name you want to give him, whether you like him or not. We still have to review Tua, and to be honest with you guys, uh, get over yourselves. Tua's your quarterback. It is what it is. Until he's not. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about that. It is what it is. Am I happy, disappointed? I'm taking it's no emotions into this. I'm taking a look at it objectively, whether or not Tua's going to be a viable option for us, the Miami Dolphins, moving forward. And that's what we're going to discuss today. I apologize. I'm just having some camera issues real quick. Should be fixed in a little bit. But do me a favor. You guys already know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to ask. You know what I'm going to tell you guys to do. If you guys could do me a favor, if you truly value Miss Fins and you want to continue to see Miss Fins every single morning, or at least as many mornings as possible, because it is technically the off season, guys, hit that like button for me. Go ahead and hit that like button for me. Let everybody else know that we are live. We are here. We are looking to move forward, honestly, and really looking to make a difference here. So if you really like Miss Fins, just all I need you guys to hit that like button, share, subscribe, let everybody know that we are live because we're so close to 1,000 guys. It's not even funny. Like now I know for a fact it's meant to be. And only because you guys are here and you guys are so awesome. So please do me a favor. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that like button. Let everybody else know that we are live because I think that they deserve the chance to also enjoy this awesome content as well. So hit that like button. Let me see if I can finally get this fixed here for us real quick. Thank you for your patience, guys. We are so close, literally so close. We are what? 162, guys. We're literally counting them away. We're 162 away. That's nothing. That's nothing, and you guys know it. Once this woman. Oh, women. What can I say? I'm a woman, and I'm annoying. So there you go. Oh, that. Um. Mm, mm. Let me highlight this. Give me a second, guys. Hey, listen. When you're a working woman like I am, I'm not gonna apologize. I have to feed my family. It is what it is. But it just doesn't give us enough time. That's all. But we're good. Don't worry about it, guys. I made sure I had just enough to give you guys, honestly, my true evaluation of Tua because he he is again a viable option for us. We just have to see how viable he is, and if you truly believe that he should be our quarterback, like I know a lot of us do, then please go ahead and check it out. By the way, guys, I didn't get enough chance to redo my thumbnail, which is why I had put up one that I had already used. But it's not a bad question. You know what I mean? I'm gonna change it up later, but it's a serious question, guys. I'm being super serious with you guys. Let's see here, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Mm, finally, my God, that was a struggle. We all know technology, guys. So let me fix this real quick. My baby here. Uh, thank you. Awesome. This baby here, I'm telling you, I have to like tame her. Mm. How are you guys doing? My beautiful people. Morning. Oh, guys, you guys are the best. Thank you for your patience. I don't know what happened, but we're up and running now. We're good to go. And like I told you guys, I'm going to give you guys my non emotional, objective review of Tua because we have to do it. It's we have to evaluate Tua as a whole. And you know what? I think that it's the only right thing to do. So let's see. I don't have to do much more than that. Mm, Let's see who's in here. Let me say hello real quick. Good morning, Chef Jew. Welcome. Good morning. Always, almost always the first one in here. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. How you doing? Thank you. This should be good. Finally, 6 weeks after we get. Hey, I could have waited 10 more weeks. I don't give, man. I got my calendar, but don't worry. You get what you get. Okay. Hey guys, it all gotta fall in the calendar, okay? And like I told you guys, I still don't see it as the off season for us because uh, there's still NFL to be played. We still got the Pro Bowl, and then we got the Super Bowl. And just so you guys know, this channel started last year, Super Bowl week, which was I still can't believe, man. It's almost a year is here. I'm blessed to be here with you guys. So thank you. Morning, Michelle. Welcome. Morning, Miss Finch, Chef Jew, everybody. Morning, Jimmy. Morning. Good morning, Mike. Welcome. Morning, Jeremiah. Welcome. Good morning, Miss Finch. Hope you're having a great day today. I am. I woke up today. That's all that matters. Um, that's all that matters. Um, let's see here. Who else is? Does Tua still being a critical factor in? Everything factors in delusion. And good morning to you, sir. Good morning, Batman. Oh, hey, good morning, Miss Fins and everybody in the chat. Hit that like button and subscribe, y'all. Thank you, buddy. Listen, guys, if you haven't done so already, you gotta check out Batman over there at his channel, Finsaholic, man. Batman is throwing out content all the time. He's also, guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but he also does like custom helmets. Super cool. He also gave away my Gesicki dress, but it wasn't mine. It was his. But I got to hold it at least once. And it was awesome. But please go check him out, subscribe. He's got great panel shows. He's got just regular shows, period. Just check out Batman. He is phenomenal. And if you haven't done so already, you're gonna get some great look. And the great thing about Batman is that you know for a fact that he is a Dolphins fan. He's a Dolphins fan. He loves Tua. He's 1000% behind Tua. And there's nothing wrong with that. But he is a true Dolphin fan. Because I do genuinely believe if Tua wasn't here, he'd still be a Dolphin fan. There's a difference, guys. There are levels to this fandom. Some people that are just straight up Tua. I know guys that are just Brady fans. They were Patriots fan, but because Brady was there. And the minute Brady went to Tampa Bay, they went to Tampa Bay. Nothing wrong with that. Follow your guy. You know what I mean? Everybody knows my guy is Gesicki. Um, but Batman, even though he absolutely loves Tua, he is a Dolphin fan. So, but yes, check out Batman. Phenomenal content all the time. Telling you, you're not gonna regret it for sure. Um, let's see here. Assuming they do, will still be protocol. I think we'll discuss the protocol and stuff like that. Good morning, Miss Finn. Good morning, Daddy Dean. Good morning, Red Runner. Welcome. You should put that beautiful cartoon character. I'm loving that more every time I see it. Ah, thank you. I appreciate it. Money Mitch, welcome. Good morning, buddy. Pseudo Spike, welcome. Good morning. Tua can't even play flag football. Listen, I need a quarterback for the next 10 years. I don't need a quarterback for 2 more weeks. So, whatever he needs to do to get better, that's all we need to. It's the off season for the Dolphins. Don't kid yourself. It's the off season. It's not the off season for the NFL. So, but good morning to you, Michael. Does anyone else think the rep helped? Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. Honestly, I had a project yesterday for work, and it took me all day. And till, I don't know if you can hear my voice. I'm tired. My voice is tired. It's too much. It's too much. So that's why I couldn't do it yesterday. And let me tell you, getting up extremely, I get up early every day, but getting in extremely early call from your boss doesn't ever help stress levels. Miss Fins, are you going to do a free agent show on who should we go after? Um, so yes, I am. I don't I don't like to do that right now. Again, we are in the off season for the Dolphins. I get it. The whole AFC East. But I like to do that when there is no NFL. You know what I mean? Why? Because honestly, guys, it's just so much time off. And I feel like we can really discuss in details more on who should we get. I know everybody's already talking about it, and we got great content creators. Subscribe to all. But I definitely want to be able to enjoy. I assume I assume I assume Mark bought that non-refundable ticket and hotel rooms because he thought Buffalo was gonna make it. I assume that's where. What? Michael K. Did he really like show up the other night? Oh, good. I'm just glad he's alive. That's it. He was nowhere to be found. Good morning, Miami fan talk show, guys. Go check him out. Awesome content too. If you love football, awesome content. Go check him out for sure. What's up, Kenna? And subscribe. Subscribe. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. So let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, Tua Tagovailoa, he's got a lot of accolades. We already know he was in the MVP talks. We know all of that. But in order to really discuss Tua, in my opinion, there's a few things that we have to discuss. Let me see. Okay. Tua was not an MVP. Listen, he was in the MVP talks, which is what I said. So am I lying? Listen, he was my MVP up to week 3. Okay, there you go. Good morning, Enrique. Welcome. So let's discuss because the thing is to give a real evaluation to Tua, you have to consider not just this year. You have to consider the last 3 years, how he did, what he played, because we know he didn't play all 16 games. You know what I mean? But I do want to go ahead and acknowledge what we have here with Tua. Uh, yeah, I know. Hey, he still has stats, so stop hater-rating, guys. Stop hater-rating. You're the one in my review. Here, you're getting it because we have to discuss it. So, the what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over 2022, what he did, his stats overall, break some of the overall stats with him, and then I'm gonna go in the last 3 years. Okay. Now, when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa, ladies and gentlemen, Tua wasn't so bad this year. Not at all. Um, he wasn't so bad. Overall, in 2022-2023 season, Tua kind of gave us. Oh man, I think you guys are gonna find this very interesting. He gave us a good performance. What do you define a good performance, Miss Vince? Great question. Overall, he had a 64.8% completion percentage this past year. He also had 8 interceptions, 25 touchdowns. He gave us 3,548 total yards this year. Okay. So he did his thing. He did his thing. As far as excuse me. As far as the rest of it goes, Let me discuss this. Tua had overall a step in the right direction this season. The issue again, injuries. That's the issue again. Because you cannot build a franchise over a quarterback that's not available. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. Good morning, Trey. Welcome, buddy. So, I mean, and when I compare all 3 years, guys, you're going to be like, okay, we know what happened in the first 3 games, guys. We were excited over Tua. This year, the first 3 games, we were like, okay, we have momentum. We're 3-0. What are we doing? Is he contributing to this? Is he a factor as to us actually winning these games? He definitely didn't hurt that much. I mean, in the very first 3 games of this season, if you break it down, especially since he wasn't here all the games, he had what? 8 touchdowns in the first 3 games, 2 interceptions. His passer rating went from 104 to 124 to 124. He only got sacked 3 times that first game and then once each every other game. So he only took 5 sacks. He was pretty good when it came to actually moving the ball. So let me see. Should we give Tua the bag? I haven't gotten to all that, guys. I just started. Okay, so give me a minute. I'm gonna get to all of that. Okay. And he only fumbled the ball once in the first 3 games. We're feeling ourselves, people. We're totally feeling ourselves. Why? Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I absolutely loved being 3-0. Not gonna lie, especially after beating the Buffalo Bills. You know what I mean? Oh, it's like cherry on top. Keep hitting that like button, guys. So in 2022, guys, when it came to Tua Tagovailoa, he was looking good, man. Overall, the entire season, looking good. But then the injuries came, and that's the concern. He still played half of the Cincinnati Bengals game. So anybody that tries to pretend like he didn't play that game, stop. He played that game, played half the game, but he still played that game. Okay, got injured, obviously. And in my opinion, we would have beat the Bengals had he actually finished that game. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be a fangirl. I mean, the trajectory of what we were doing as a team, we would have won that game. Um, but obviously, we had to play right after our guy gets to the ambulance. Just saying, not everything's equal in the NFL. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. And even in that game, he completed 8 out of 14. Wasn't too bad. 57% completion percentage. Already had 110 yards, poised to at least get 220, 250. But again, that injury, and that's the main concern. There's a couple of themes here when it comes to Tua, and I'm just discussing right now 2022. I haven't gotten to the my full evaluation of him because we have to go in the last 3 years. And I told you guys this when I did my end year review for Tua. I'm gonna do the end of the year review and like my overall evaluation for Tua. So that's gonna be the last 3 years, and everything gets considered in this. Okay. Next game he played obviously was versus Pittsburgh, and let's be real, Noah Igbenogany saved the game for us because we were about to lose. I don't sugarcoat it. I know my team. I don't need to sugarcoat it. Noah Igbenogany by getting and everybody went, oh, it was thrown right to him. I'm like, that ball and that interception could have been thrown right to Noah, and he could have stepped out. Like everybody wants to pretend he didn't do anything. He was standing there, and the ball went right to him. I'm like, guys, he was right off, right in the corner. He could have easily had one foot in, one foot out, but he had the right, the right, the right mentality to catch the ball, make sure he caught that ball, and make sure that he had both feet in bound. So to me, great, great play. Saved the game. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. How did Tua do that game? 31 out of 35, 21 out of 35, 60% completion percentage. Look at the defense you're facing. You're gonna be dealing with tough defenses the entire year. You're gonna be dealing with this tough defenses the whole of your entirety of your career because defenses win championships. And when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa, ladies and gentlemen, defenses, like most quarterbacks, they rattled him. They did. Now, obviously, after we play Pittsburgh, we go on a 5 game winning streak. We go on a tear. I'm fully aware that TJ Watt was out. If TJ Watt was playing that game, we lose it. I don't care what anybody tells me. TJ Watt single handedly turned around. Our team that was what, 3-6 to end up being 9-8 and having a winning season. So yeah, I'm fully aware TJ wasn't even playing. So yeah, you don't have to tell me that, but I appreciate it. Um, what I'm looking for is a game where Tua took over. People want to say, the fourth quarter of the Ravens game, which is the second one. I mean, he scored the most touchdowns he ever scored in a professional game with 6 for them being in that last quarter, which was a phenomenal comeback. Phenomenal. It resulted in a lot of things. Yes, the defense of the Ravens, who had a lacking secondary, broke down finally after being on the field for so long. You had an opportunistic wide receivers, in my opinion, a young offense that nobody really has seen in real life. They just saw in paper. And Tua Tagovailoa took advantage that the defense was able to get the ball back. Our defense was able to get the ball back and make sure that we gave us enough opportunities for us to score. And Tua took advantage of that and actually scored in the opportunities that we got. That's what I want to see my quarterback do. If the defense is giving you opportunities to score, you better be scoring. Period. It's your job to score. And he was doing that. And he did that fourth quarter. But it took a series of stuff, and I'm gonna acknowledge that. And I'm taking nothing away from it. He had to actually throw the balls and get the balls to his guys. And he did in that fourth quarter versus the Ravens game. Um, that's what you want to see your quarterback do. Take advantage of opportunities. Take advantage of opportunities, guys. So yeah, he did it. Never had he done it before. He threw 2 picks, yes, but I mean, what was that? Three, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, so a 3-to-1 ratio. I'm good. I'll take it any day, all day. You give me a 3-to-1 ratio average, I will take it any day, all day. When most quarterbacks average maybe like a 1.5, 2-to-1, if they're lucky, if they're protecting the ball. Having 3-to-1, I'll take it. He went 3-to-1. You can't even argue. And you guys already know I've had the same sticky guys of all year long of what I've wanted to do. What the hell is this? Ah, is this it? No. Oh, actually, I can still talk about that one. I don't see it. But y'all know what sticky I'm referring to. I've had the same sticky all season long. What I've wanted to it to do. I mean, 230 to 250, which was way more than the 204 he was averaging last year. Two touchdowns, no interceptions, and a couple deep passes. Up to that point, he was doing it. First game, he had 270. Second games, he had almost 500 at 469. Third game, he did 186. Okay. We didn't need much from him, but he still managed. Mm. The next five games, people always want to dismiss the fact that Tua played versus the worst defenses. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot deny that the next five games after that Cincy game, well, that Tua played. Let me make this. They were not the worst defenses, but they were. How do I put this? Okay, let me put it this way, and I'm gonna go by game so that you guys see what I mean. You, they were not the top defenses in the league. That is true. But you play who you play. Whoever's in your schedule, whether they're the number one defense in AKA San Francisco or the worst overall defense, AKA the Detroit Lions. It don't matter who you're playing. You play who you play. Your job is to take advantage of it. Period. And maximize whatever opportunities you get. Especially the ones that your defense gives you that are extras. And winning versus Pittsburgh, if we're being honest, Tua really wasn't that big factor in that game as far as us winning. But he still got 261 yards. He still got a touchdown, and he had no interceptions. He was still part of that win. Okay, but it wasn't. He didn't take over the game. That's the difference. When he played versus Detroit, he actually went toe to toe. He went toe to toe. And the Lions, they played, what do you call it? They played the one defense that, hey, Tua loves, and that is what a lot of people say, aka TD, the raggedy zone defense. Tua kills you if it's a zone defense. See, this is Enrique. I see what you're saying, but no one cares. If you don't want to care, you don't have to care about um what a quarterback does versus trash defenses. But quick question to you, Enrique. Now I'm talking to just you, Enrique. So I don't need anybody else answering this question when I ask it. Enrique, those same trashy defenses, if Tua were to lose to all three teams, would you still care or no? Would you still care? Because I know you say nobody cares what a QB does against a trash defense. If that's the truth, if nobody cares what a QB does, are you gonna care if he lost a game versus winning? I'm just saying because it's easy for people to say, "Oh, nobody cares about trash defenses," but until they lose the game. Hmm? I'm just saying. So again, these are the actual defenses he played, and he actually did his job, which is win the games. Whether they're the number ones or the last ones, you play whoever's in front of you. So, oh, so it matters. So yes, because he lost, but in the same token, he plays good teams and becomes ghost to a. That's the problem. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that at all. But to just blankly say nobody cares what he does or what a quarterback does when he plays trash defense, that's not true. You care if they lose. So yeah, Tua did his job. Didn't cost us those games, and we got the W. You did your job. Because I know that we're trying to compare is Tua. That's the main question. Is can Tua play 17 games? A. Is he the future? Is he the franchise quarterback? Can I give him an extension? Can I give him, a long-term contract? Because to Kenneth's point, that's just it. The teams you're supposed to beat, you really don't get props. Teams you're supposed to beat them. Nobody wants to give them props. Fine. Oh, but they have something to say if you were to lose to those same crappy teams. Which, by the way, I was very adamant. I didn't care about the Detroit defense. I care about their offense. That up to that point, they were in the number one offense. Up to that point when we played them, number one scoring offense. So Tua did his job in those middle games where we won five straight. He did his job. He went 21 of 35 versus Steelers, 29 of 36 versus the Lions, 21 of 30 versus the Bears, 25 of 32 versus Cleveland. He did his job. He protected the ball. 9 touchdowns in those 3 games alone. 10 if you count Pittsburgh, and no interceptions. And if you want to add Houston, which is the fifth game we played, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. He protected the ball. He did his job. He didn't cost us the game. When you do your job and you're not costing the team the game, you're doing your job. You be mad all you want. And I know people are probably like, "This is ridiculous." I mean, I can't read all the comments because I'm not sure, but um, Miss Phins, Allen was hailed a hero for the fourth quarter comeback against the Lions and all week story. And you know what? Yes, Dolphins always get the short end of the stick. Uh, See, nobody can. You know what, Scotty? You make a great point because had the Bills lost to the Lions, they would have they would have destroyed Allen. But because it is the Buffalo Bills, they're the darling of the NFL. At least they were. Some quarterbacks get praised because the team is already in that trajectory and everybody's pushing them to win. Other ones get crucified. Oh, you can't you again see this. I was taught to be objective and be balanced. That's why I'm not dismissing the fact that yeah they could have been the worst defenses versus Cleveland. Well, no, Cleveland was actually pretty good, but versus the well Lions, Bears, and Browns, which everybody always has some joke. Good morning, Canes, about how they were the worst defenses, right? Well, guess what? He did his job. Took care of the ball. We got the win. Now, doing your job doesn't mean you were the reason why your team won. Don't get that twisted. Good morning, Clementi. Don't get that twisted. Doing your job is doing your job. What you need to do, protect the ball. Don't give the ball away. He did his job. Be mad at him all you want, ladies and gentlemen. Tua Tagovailoa did his job in those 5 games. Whether we were playing the crappiest defense or not, that's besides the point. He did his job. We got the win. You're supposed to win versus the inferior teams. And he did that. Okay? Then after that, we get the bye week. We got the last. We get the last 5 games, right? Of the season. However, he only played 4 of them due to injury. Don't worry, I'm gonna get there. This is where and believe me, I've listened to so many content creators, so many different what do you call it? Mainstream media personalities discussing to the fall, the rise, all that stuff, right? This is a huge test. We all knew this the minute that schedule came out. We knew this is gonna be the hardest stretch. Period. He'll these 4 games that he faced between week 13 and week 16 are the equivalent of what last year's first 5 games were. The toughest schedule. Those first 4 games, those last 4 games he played were the toughest ones. But why? Because those are actually playoff contending team. Niners just went to the NFC Championship. Chargers, they went to the divisional round. They made the playoffs. We know Buffalo did too, and Green Bay was one game away, if I'm not mistaken. Did they make it? I forgot if Green Bay made it. I don't think Green Bay made it. Maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Green Bay make the playoffs or no? I know they were like right on the cuff. Like I don't know if they did. Somebody tell me. I forget. It's NFC, but such a bad conference. My God. Regardless. No. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Um. Thank you guys. Thank you. The Lions beat them. That's right. I knew it was something between I knew it was between the Lions, them, and I think it was Seahawks. Right. That's right. Seahawks because the Lions beat the Packers. Seahawks got to go and jump both of them to take that last spot in the seventh. You're right. Thank you. So um, this is minus Packers. These are all playoff teams who, if I'm not mistaken, made the playoffs last year too. So these are some really good morning, Philip. Oh, I knew there was something I forgot. Sorry, give me a second, guys. Uh, 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 there it is. Yes. Um. Listen, guys. Um. This wasn't his best performance. Remember, there's no emotion into this, guys. You can't deny this. This you can't deny what happened in this game. The 40. This is and some people say that it was more towards the Houston game where you saw a decline in Tua. Okay, so I was like, what do you mean by that? Okay, he only had 1 touchdown. He had 299 yards. Man, he could have 300. Oh, passer rating definitely took a significantly big loss. His 130, he went from 135 to 96, 97. Well, 96.9. I'm rounding up, people. Um, okay, sure. There it is. He took on 4 sacks that game. The Houston game. Okay. Because I'm trying to see what changed between. I'm trying to understand. Nothing's gonna change the eye test, guys. I watched all those games, and for all of them, I watched them obviously, but I wasn't in there because I didn't go to the West Coast. And in the home games, I went to everything, went to every single home game. It was awesome. But guys, some people say, "Oh, he finally faced a real defense. He finally faced a top 10 defense." Yes, absolutely. And up to that point, if I'm not mistaken, San Fran was top 5. Up to that point, San Fran was top 5. And you had the Chargers, who got Joey Bosa back. The Chargers, who Lovey Smith had Texans had good defense. They sacked Hurts like 3 times and almost won. I know everybody's talking about scapegoated, but they're playing pretty decent. They got to quarterback, man, 4 times, and they were supposed to be the worst team we played all season. They have no offense, yeah, but they weren't supposed to be as good as they were when it comes to the defense. They didn't have Bosa back in that game. I'm pretty sure they did. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I know that he was injured. Had like 7 starters out. Really? I know Bosa came back, but he didn't come back that game. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm getting mistaken with something else. Good morning, Saxman. Welcome. Beep up. I didn't see you. Morning, beep up. Um, yeah, I could be. Which game did Bosa come back, guys? Because I really thought that he came out that game. Yeah. Well, anyhow, San Fran San Fran did something that the other teams hadn't done. They played about 7 yards off our wide receivers. They played seven. They changed it up. They essentially took away that middle scheme over team. Yep, you're right, Mitch. You're right. Only face Nick Bosa. Okay, got it. Okay, so Nick Bosa. That's what happens when you have brothers. I'm telling you, Nick Bosa was in the 49ers game, which that's what I thought. But I thought that Joey was back for the Chargers. I guess he wasn't back. Okay. Um, Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, they played 7 yards off our players. They took away they took away our ability to make those deeper crosses. And jeez, I gotta watch my time. So let me just check something real quick. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Okay, I got a little bit of time. This is to us, so I'm trying to get us as much time as possible. They changed the scheme on us. And we started playing, and people don't get it. Like we started playing playoff, and I said it, man. Especially when I did my game review for that game. It's playoff. Good morning, good morning, CB83. Welcome, welcome, guys. If you haven't checked out CB83, awesome, awesome, awesome content over there. Really dynamic. He always has the Friday shows are pretty fun. They're pretty fun. Definitely check out CB83's channel, guys. If you do me a favor, go over there, subscribe. Let's get him to the 1,000 too, like Batman. Let's do it together as a community, guys, because we have great content creators. So please do me a favor and check out Phins Take with CB83. He's awesome. I met him in person a couple of times. He's a really cool, chill guy. Absolutely awesome. So thank you for coming this morning, CB83. Thank you. But yeah, this time, guys, and again, remember, no emotions. He was facing a top defense in these games. They changed it up and they went playoff defense. They went scheme specific for our team, taking away what we had been able to do consistently for throughout the entire year. And the Niners, they had her number. They had her number up to the point. And if you take a look at Tua, he was frustrated. I could already tell he was frustrated in that game because you were expecting, he was probably expecting a certain look and he wasn't getting that look, which is understandable. It happens with young QBs all the time. This is not just to him. But them being so far off and not being pressed as much as you would expect, I guess, with the typical defense. that Tua has faced, it didn't allow for our players to be able to do those deep middle routes, those deep crossers, the deep slants. They took away that. They took away the middle for us. And you would think, oh, but that makes no sense, Miss Fence. We still got spacers in the outside. This is the problem, guys. The way the way that the Niners were playing defense for us against us, again, because we weren't able to move those players with our crossers, was getting jammed. Tua really didn't have many options. And when you're using the speedster guys to obviously when he's calling the motion, it's typically Hill, but oh, we've seen them use Gesicki, we've seen them use Durham Smythe, we've seen them use Waddle. You know what I mean? But typically, the fastest guy to do the big wheel route. When they're taking over the way that the Niners did, and they drop back versus actually coming forward like 206 was more accustomed to, it just threw off Tua. And you could tell it was more of a deer in the headlight kind of moment. He was frustrated because he is a timing quarterback. Tua kind of, it's interesting. It's like he's Hawaiian people. Like, what do they do over there in Hawaii? They surf. They wake up very early in the morning and they surf. There's the day, night, the weekends, like all of it. You know what I mean? So when you have a quarterback that is as, I guess, I don't want to say in tune, but really that rhythmic as far. Oh, and they eat a lot of pineapples. That is true. And spam. They love spam. I know because I had a friend from Hawaii. My God, he's like, totally, Miss Phins. All we eat is spam over there. They're the number one state that eats spam. They love that stuff. Um, so when you have a quarterback that he feels the plays, guys, he's very in tune with himself. Tua's very self-aware, guys. He's very self-aware. It's something he gets in his head a lot. But when you have somebody that's just that timing, like he knows, okay, this route's supposed to be here at this time, not by the Niners clogging up that middle, it threw away that timing. And you know what? He's a timing quarterback. He is. And he's not the only one. A ton of quarterbacks are. Niners just they were scheme specific for the Dolphins. And you know what? Guess what? I'm not even surprised. That's your protege. And McDaniel, you're coming from the mothership over to this other baby ship in the Dolphins, you know, like a I don't want to say bootleg version, but like a great value version of the Niners, if you will. And somewhat of the scheme of what you see with your offense. Of course you're gonna know what to do. Plus this film. By that I mean what? It was week 13? Please, ladies and gentlemen. You had enough film to see the tendencies of a player. And that's what they did. They took advantage, as they should have. That's what shows you a organization that has been in the same system for several years. I'm hoping for the love of all that is holy that the Dolphins will somehow stop flipping these. We'll talk about the Dolphins organization. Period. Good morning, Pam. But flipping these schemes and this. No, man. If we're riding with McDaniel, I need him for 10 years. I need something stable. But I will talk about McDaniel later, and another day he's got his own review. We're focused on Tua today. That's what the Niners did, and in opposite to that, oh, Tua had a horrible game in that Niners game, and even a horrible game was actually kind of like an average game for most quarterbacks. He still had 295 yards, two tutties, two interceptions, which I don't. I, there was one I'm trying to remember. There was one that I'm like, that's totally on Tua. The other one, I can't give him that. I'm not gonna give him now. I forgot which one was which, guys. So help me out if you guys want to put it in there. But um, teams got stubborn and said, I'm gonna run my defense no matter what. Yeah, that's true. Good morning, Jarvis. Every time I see your name, reminds me of Iron Man. I don't know why. Good morning. Good morning, Pam. Welcome. Good morning. Um, yeah, but what was I gonna say? This ready-made team deserves a durable and consistent QB. Tua is average QB, and you know what? And people aren't wrong in determining if that's their evaluation. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm spending a lot of time in 2022, guys, because I'm gonna break down the last 3 years. I told you this. I'm giving his evaluation for this year and the last 3 years, and what my projection is moving forward with him, because we're moving forward with him. He still had an average like game. He had an average game. It looked bad, but it was still an average game. There were still opportunities for us to take that he didn't take. Oh, no, 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 Bebop. We're not doing that. Don't make me. Don't, please. I'm trying to stay neutral. Do not. Please don't bring up the defense. Please. Thank you. We're not doing that. Okay? Then the Chargers, we all watched that 20-minute video, man. The Chargers, they came out to it's okay. It's okay, buddy. But we're not discussing the defense. Like, not this today. We're focused just on Tua. Oh, delusional. The Chargers really, holy cow. That was by far Tua's worst game. And I could possibly say that was probably Tua's worst career game. God, I didn't think it was possible. He looked he looked startled versus the Niners, but he was still in the game. He got completely, and I mean completely dismantled by the Chargers, guys. They did that on purpose too. He still got his touchdown, so let's not get it twisted. He still got his touchdown. But ladies and gentlemen, 10 of 28. Oh God, I don't even want to take a look at that game. That game, it was so bad. He looked. Forget pedestrian. This is not. This is not even. This is no emotion when I say this, guys. He looked like. We know what happened. He was completely figured out. He was completely figured out. We know that. We know what happened. But man, he looked pedestrian. He did. He did. And you know what? I'm not surprised. Unlike the Niners, Chargers pressed on us. They were jamming at the line. Those first 5 yards, which you can legally press on a player, yes. Even though they were definitely allowing some about 7 8 yards past that, but whatever. They pressed. And they just jammed Waddle. They jammed Tyreek right at the line. And they came to them right at the line. And that also just but that disturbed the what do you call it? The timing even more. And I mean like even more. Even more. And you know what? Tua got sacked twice that game. Only lost 18 yards. But my God, that was horrible. That was by far I mean, 145 yards. He had 110 in half a game versus Cincy, and he got injured that game. It was bad. You can't say what you will. They figured him out. They figured out the offense. They made it their mission, and we all saw that video. And if you haven't seen the video, Google it, man. It made us look so bad. They did their stuff. Excuse me. They were playing man. They were playing at the line. They were playing. They were just all over our guys. And playoff football, man. I said it. When we get off that bye, we're playing playoff football. And we played two of the top five defenses up to that point. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. And both games we scored 17 points. 133 versus the Niners. I mean, against 33 versus the Niners, and 23 against the Chargers scored on us. Tua did not have a good game. He didn't. Good morning, Steve. It, no creativity, just forcing a square peg into a round hole. Bully McDaniel. And you know what, CB83, I can see where you're coming from as far as the play calling was one dimensional. A lot of factors were into this, guys. It's not just Tua. It's not just Tua himself, and I acknowledge that, and that's what I say. But we also have to, again, there's zero emotion in anything that I'm saying today. We also have to understand, being that Tua is such a rhythm guy, that the defenses he went against, which are the defenses you're gonna see in the playoffs, which is what matters, he wasn't able to make the adjustment. Neither was the head coach. And again, I'm gonna go. He's gonna get his own video. The team's gonna get their own video. We're talking Tua today because Tua is the one holding the ball. You know what I mean? Tua is the one, and I know Tua doesn't wanna disappoint. I know the type of player that Tua is. He's super huge, family oriented. Doesn't want to disappoint. He wants to give his best. He gets very down when he doesn't. So I totally get it, man. I relate a lot with Tua. I do. I love Tua. As a player, this is what Tua has given us this year. And when it comes to those specific, Tua has to also make adjustments too. Make the recognition, okay, okay, so the Chargers are pressing on our guys, then I also need to adjust. Because there were times that they were still open, or I need to see the field more. One of the major things, and I'm going to discuss this in a minute, one sec, because I'm almost done with this year, guys. One of the things that I said last year that I wanted Tua to do this year is for him to have a field of vision where he could see that mid range. He was killing it 10 and under. But between like 12 to 17 yards, Tua was like blind to it and wasn't throwing to it. So, Miss Finch, which Tua do you like, the game manager or the leader? It's which Tua do we need? Because we know what Tua is and what Tua isn't. Or at least I hope that I'm giving you a glimpse. And guys, keep hitting that like button for me. He's managed the games that we need him to manage. He hasn't cost us really. I'm gonna get to relax the Green Bay game, okay? But he's done his job this year. But he's not the driving factor of us winning games. That's the difference. You have to know what kind of player you have. And he's a very rhythmistic, like I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It's a very rhythm oriented player. Very rhythm oriented player. Again, Hawaiian, feel that serve, okay? Feel the wave, anticipate where it's gonna crash. Hey, no, my dad was a surfer, so trust me. I don't know. Sometimes you think the wave is gonna go one way and crash here, and it doesn't. Sometimes you don't think it's gonna crash, and it does, and then that's when that's when you tip over, and you crash and burn. You know what I mean? So, which I should say that correctly. You got to see where the wave is gonna break. Even that you're the one crashing. So yeah, but that's and it makes sense. So he's Hawaiian. Tua right now in those two games alone got exposed in this way, not being able to make the adjustments. That's really it. That's what I took away from those two games. You gotta be able to make adjustments, not just your head coach. And again, he was also a rookie, a coach. But you have to also take over a game too. You have to make that adjustments too. And I don't know if Tua feels that maybe he doesn't have the oh man, I can't even tell you how much I relate to him. He doesn't want to disrespect and go over what he's being told by his head coach. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it because I understand that type of culture out of respect. But it's a little bit different when you're dealing with a starting quarterback in the NFL. It does require for you to to make adjustments. He may not feel that he has the availability. Not avail. This is a word for it. I'm trying to say that he's been given the reins or the openness or the non-judgmental opportunity to just go out there and fail and do it. Hey, hang 10. Miss Fins, don't forget a bad day surfing is better than a good day working. And you know, the authority. Ah, thank you, delusional. Ah, thank you. And I appreciate it about the rhythmic because I was like, did I even say that? Appreciate it. Yes, he may not feel like he has the authority because he's, in that culture, in that family orientation, you don't disrespect your elders. You do what you're told, and that's it. I understand that. A lot of people don't understand the culture. They don't understand what it is to be that family oriented, that type of family orientation. I do. I do. So he may not feel like he has, and again, thank you, delusional, the authority to insert himself into the games. But that's what he needs. The I don't care. I'm not going to crucify you if you make a mistake. Go out and make mistakes. And I think that if Tua were to just let him ride, he might actually do good. Because there were games where I was like, McDaniel, what are you doing? Oh, because this is going into his evaluation. I'm like, McDaniel, Tua is literally cooking. What kind of, what the, what are you, mm. Why would you take, and I know Color has said this too. Color commentary from TFTG. Let's go. Let's get it. My partner, Wednesday nights. Okay, League Well Wednesday. Come check it out. 8 p.m. Eastern. But even Color has said it. I'm like, why would you take the ball away from Tua? He was in his zone. And then this man literally goes and takes the ball. And I'm like, oh God, you're killing me. So I'm fully aware that Tua also has to deal with a rookie head coach. I get that. But I'm going by what Tua can control. And he can control once he's on the field, he's got that ball, he's got that play call. It's on Tua. He's got to take that authority and command that offense. That's what I excuse me, suspecting for my quarterback. He may not be that type of quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing wrong with that, but we'd have to recognize that because he may not be that type of quarterback that does take over a game, that we're going to have a lot around him to overcome that, i.e., the 49ers with Jimmy G. Even though Jimmy G kind of got better at it later in his career. And then we saw the Buffalo game. He had a great game. Now, okay, maybe not great game, but to me, he did great. In my opinion, he was doing good. He was doing his job. He was taking care of it, man. He was doing his job. Good morning, JM. I love the Buffalo game. Like he came out of that slumber versus San Fran and Chargers, and he came out with some energy. And let's be real, uh, we almost had the Bills again. The Bills again. Like that game, I'm t- listen. This is why I say the gap in the AFC East is like this. We had the Bills number. Period. We had the Bills number. We made some mistakes as a team, McDaniel, but we had that. And Tua did his job. My minimum has always been this year. Give me 230, two touchdowns, no interceptions. Guess what Tua gave us that game? 234, two touchdowns, no interceptions. That's what I was asked for. He did what I asked him to do. Now, were there still meat on that bone? Were there some place? Absolutely. Which I'm like, Tua, you gotta see the field. You gotta see the field. You gotta see what defense you're talking about. And some people say he can't read defenses. He can't that. And you know what? I get why people would say that. You would think he doesn't read defenses with some wide open guys, but guys, understand Tua is not the only quarterback that does that. We hyper focus on Tua because he's our quarterback. He ain't the only one. Every quarterback does that. But we're gonna hyper focus on Tua because he is again our quarterback. Is did he really know the playbook or just some plays? And you know what? That's not great question, JM. That's not on me to answer. That's between him and McDaniel. That's between him and McDaniel. Understand though, there's film now. There's film. So McDaniel, us moving forward based on with I'm moving forward with the assumption that we're moving forward with them. Is it like that's it? We're moving forward with both of them. Fine, tighten up, McDaniel, and tighten up Tua. And Tua, I think he can do it. And in that Green Bay game, listen, I was there live. I watched that game in person. There was zero change between the alleged concussion or not. Tua played a really good game. Minus three really horrible decisions. That's all it was. Had he not gone for Gasicki and gotten Tyreek, that would have gone for 80. He might have been able to, maybe not 80. Okay, but he could have gone for easily 20 yards. Minimum. Because Tyreek was right underneath. But he decided to go on a triple cover Gasicki where he could have just dumped it off to Tyreek. He just had three bad guy. It happens. Your guy is going to mess up. It happens. But I'm not attributing to that to no alleged concussion, even though what do you call it? They say that he had it. Whatever, fine. Doctors say he got diagnosed. Sure, okay, fine. I'm moving past that. I watched it in person, and his numbers going from 17 to 17 out of what was it? Prior to and after, he was like that game he did. I mean, Green Bay. Oh, he was 7 of 13 prior to, and then 8 of 15 after. Don't tell me this man was or 8 of 12 afterwards from that alleged concussion. No, he just had three really bad plays, guys. That's all. Here I can truly say Tua Tagovailoa single-handedly lost us the Green Bay game. You can say, be all the homer that you want, be all the Super Tua fan, whatever. He single-handedly had three bad plays that cost us a game. Again, no emotion to this. It is what happened. Because take away those three bad plays, Tua was having a really good game. He was being really efficient. And we were able to take care of the Packers. He was having an efficient game. We lost that game as a team, obviously. But that's the one game that I would say that without any shadow of a doubt, and I have no problem saying you guys call me a hater, whatever. It's not being a hater. It's not being a hater. He single handedly lost us that game. Just like I don't care what people tell me, McDaniel and Waddle lost us the Viking games, period. And yes, I say McDaniel because it was 30 seconds and all he had to do is take a knee, get to the second half. No. Waddle, fumble, they get a score. So, yes, like I'm giving Waddle the reason why we lost that Vikings game and McDaniel. Tua Tagovailoa is the reason we lost the Packers game. Get over it, people. It was three bad plays. Other than that, you literally take away those three bad plays. Tua was cooking. It's just three bad plays. That's it. Oh, three very frustrating plays, especially on Christmas Day. But it is what it is. That's there you have it. Look, in this season, you have to take into consideration, guys. Tua didn't play a full season. I can't give him anything higher than a B. I can't. You have to be there for your team, especially with so many people that say, "Oh, if Tua was playing," I'm like, "That's the problem. If Tua was playing, that's the problem. If is that even on Tua, or is that his body giving up? People need to take this into consideration. Is Tua's body giving up on Tua? Because it's not just the whole concussion. They're riding on this concussion crap. Please get out of here. That guy here 2 minutes ago. No, no. He's been injured, whether it was ankle, ribs, what was the other one? Finger. Like it's been consistently injuries. If I were a billionaire, I could help. It's true. It's been injuries galore, not just a concussion, and he's missed games every single year. That's the problem. Because of his inconsistency, that's one of the major things. I'm like, can you play a full season? Can you at least give me 15 out of the 17 games? Dang, they added an extra game and still no. So now I'm going to give you my end of the year. I personally, I cannot give to any higher than a B, but he was in the right direction. I think that if he cleans himself up, I think that he could be viable for us in the future. I will tell you this though, I'm very disappointed, and this is scheme specific, so it's not 100% on Tua. But you went from being a dink and dunk king like Brady to having your worst performance when it comes to what was it, 7 yards or less, bro. You gotta dunk it off. I know you're used to with Tyreek and Waddle to have those long passes, and I appreciate that because it's what I wanted him to work on. Now I know he can dink, and I know he can pass those mid range, which is what we need. I need you to put both of them together this year. Okay? You did one year, one scheme. You did the other one in another year. Now I need you to put both of them together. Next year, you got to tighten up Tua and be able to do all three. Obviously, the deep ones, even though, yeah, there were some that were on the throne. But you have that luxury when you got the fastest man on the field. Who cares? As long as he's getting caught. No matter. Unless but see, this is where my balance comes, guys. It doesn't matter if he catches it, but because he have thrown it in stride, that would have allowed us to get that touchdown. That would have allowed us to win the game. Situational. You see what I mean? So it doesn't matter until it does. And you don't want to have the habit of having those type of plays matter so much that we're not capitalizing on it. Okay? B minus is what I give Tua. He has improved. He has improved. I can't give you higher than that. And I'm being nice. My camera's freezing. Oh man. I'm sorry guys. Can you see me? Can you guys hear me? Well, I'm getting ready to go because I only have like literally like have a call at exactly 9:30. But I'm gonna give you my 3 year. I really needed to go in on this year. Okay. Let me go over. You're good now. Thank you, Canes. Um, let me go over the last 3 years, guys. Listen to this first. Then I'm gonna give you my My quick summary. First year, 2020, he just got. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. Um, he just got drafted, thrown in, blah blah blah. 10 games. He started 9 of them. He went 6 for 3 in those 10 games. Had 186 completions out of 290 attempts. He had a 64.1 completion percentage, 1,814 yards, 11 touchdowns with five interceptions. Okay, his yards per average attempt, his his yards per attempt were 6.3. His average yards per attempt were 6.2. So kind of in that same trajectory. Um, his yards per catch or yards per completion were 9.8, and his yards per game were 181.4. Okay, he took on 20 sacks that year. Now let's go 2021, last year. 13 games, started 12, 7 and 5. Win loss percentage. 263 completions out of 88 attempts. He had a 67.8 completion percentage. 2,653 yards that he had that year. He has 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. His yards per attempt were 6.8, and his average yards per attempt were 10.1. His games yards per game went up from 181 to 204.1, and he had 20 sacks. So the number of sacks stayed consistent. That talks about the actual online. 2022, ladies and gentlemen. 13 games he played. He started all 13 games. He went 8 and 5. The play that he actually played. 259 completions out of 400 attempts. 64.8 completion percentage. He had 3,548 yards. He had 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Okay. His yards per attempt were 8.9, so up from 6.8. His yards per completion, 13.7, up from 10.1. His yards per game also went up from 204.1 to 272.9. It's not bad. And he got sacked 21 times this year. Pretty much the same. Averaging what? 20.3 sacks in the last 3 years. So as far as the last 3 years, Tua has played 36 games, started 34 of them. He's got a 21-13 win-loss ratio. He completed 703 out of 1,078 yards, 78 attempts. His overall completion percentage in the last 3 years is 65.7. In the last 3 years, he's gotten 8,015 yards. He's had an average. Oh, well, I'm going to go into averages in a second here. He had a total in the last 3 years of. What am I looking at? Oh, 52 touchdowns to 23 interceptions. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the average here in a second. His yards per attempt average is 7.4 in the last 3 years. His average yards per attempt, 7.4 as well. His yards per completion in the last 3 years average is 11.3. His average yards per game, 222.6. And total, like I told you, he took 61 yards. That's an average of 20.3 sacks per game. Now, as far as the actual yards for the last 3 years, Tua Tagovailoa averaged 2,671.6 yards per season if you were to average it. What else did I want to average for you guys? There was one other thing. Oh, 52 touchdowns in the last 3 years. That's an average of 17 touchdowns and 23 interceptions, which was, I have a point to here, guys. Give me a minute. 7.6. So 17 and a half, you would say, TDs to 7.6 or 7.5 interceptions. So 17.5 by 7.5. I don't know if I'm doing this math right. My brain is like not working. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, taking care of Tua lives rent free in our minds. Mm, I mean, duh, because he's in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're averaging 17, again, average, and I don't even want to agree with this man, but are those starter quarterback type numbers? And the answer is no, they're not. But I need you guys to understand something too. What's up, Ice Cold Kane? Not having consistency in coaching and personnel needs to be taken into consideration. But when you take into consideration what Tua is able to control, which is himself, his own development too, eating that playbook and doing that, he still needs more time to develop. And my assessment for Tua for the last 3 years is, if we do want to keep him for the long term, he needs to get out of himself and actually, he needs to be humbled enough, stop being prideful, and learn from other people. Because I'm thinking he's a little bit too prideful and not actually allowing others to teach him. Or maybe his coaching staff needs to acknowledge, what type of player do I have? How can he learn best? And how can I maximize that? It's a twofold. Okay. So as far as the last 3 years, my evaluation for today for Tua, C minus. And the minus is because you have to be available for your team. Bro, you can't be missing. What is this? 4 this year, 4 last year, that's 8. And granted, his freshman year, he didn't really do it, but afterwards, he still missed like a couple of games, if I'm not mistaken. 10 games in the last 3 years, and I'm being nice. Unacceptable. You can't be doing that. So overall, I give to a C minus. This year, I give him a B minus. He's definitely stepping into the right. He was passer rating at 105.1. Pass touchdown per attempt at 6.3. He's number one, tied for first. Yards per attempt at 8.87. He was first in the league. And yards per completion at 13.7. He was first. So I'm not I'm not gonna pretend like he wasn't cooking, man. He got better, but he needs to improve upon that. Period. So that, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm late for my I'm late for my meeting. Where's my boss? I mean, at least I am. Ooh, there it is. Um, yeah, I have to say this. I have to tell this to you guys. There's a reason. There's a reason why he's stepping in the right direction. He needs a little bit more time to develop, in my opinion. And that's why, I mean, people may not like it, but that's my evaluation of Tua, ladies and gentlemen. Say what you will. It's my evaluation. Y'all can have your own evaluation. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. Hit that like button, hit the dislike button. That's all I can tell you to do. But so far, Tua hasn't shown me starter just yet. He needs more time to develop in order for him to give him that reign. And if we're willing to do that, we're going to have to get a veteran quarterback so that he can actually step back, learn from that quarterback, and actually grasp and develop. That's it. That's the only path that I see. And I can't believe this, but well, I can't believe this. Bebop, for your dedication to us, we love you, Miss Finch. You are the one. Oh, Bebop! Guys, Bebop just donated $20 to Miss Finch. You are too kind, buddy. You are too kind, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, Bebop. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, I really, I really wanted to make sure that I gave to a fair evaluation within the last 3 years, and I hope that I was able to deliver that. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here for you guys. I gotta run. But you guys are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for having me here. Go watch, go watch go watch the show if you just get in here or get out of here. But again, Bebop, thank you for your $20 donations. Everything goes right back to the channel, guys. So I really appreciate it. If you can get your friends to subscribe, that'd be great, guys. Again, this is Miss Fins. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Take care. And bye bye.